Hello everybody, good afternoon. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So we'll start from the previous day. I'll not do any recap today. We have too many slides. So we are talking about public relation. Public relation is particularly through any media that is other than advertisement. You make some video or anything that you do for public consumption and convey the message about your product, the uniqueness, etc. People generally do not think rationally. They're mostly emotional. I talked about it the other day. Mostly driven by hormone combination of rationality and emotional stimulation. So you have to do a lot of storytelling to really get their emotional attachment with your product. But most importantly, you may do many things to really convince people that you have a wonderful value proposition. So people will come and buy once, and if they see that you are over promising and under delivering, then that is the end of the road. They will not only they will not come, they will spread a negative word of mouth, and that is the end of the road. So you have to be very careful. You must have superior value proposition. You should promise slightly less, deliver slightly more, and you should make sure that people are happy. Advertisement, on the other hand, is a paid public relation. Like when you try to convey the message through a paid channel, whether it's TV or any other print media or anything, then it becomes shit. Okay, thank God. Uh, like public relation, this is also a media through which you reach out to the people, but then here it's not a paid media. It's a paid media. The other one is not paid. So whenever you are making payment and if people are in the knowledge that you have made payment to give this advertisement, their trust level is less. Whereas in public relation, the trust level is much higher. Now, content marketing, I talked about it. The best example is Huggies. And then here you actually empower the customers with a lot of information that they are not, they do not have access to. So you give information and then eventually you connect with your product. So you literally educate the customers about their rights, the available products that are there in the market and which products are good, bad, or anything. In the process, you also talk about your product. Particularly, you highlight those features that your product has better compared to competitors. So you create, you distribute value, relevant and consistent. In the process, you try to retain customers. This leads to increased awareness. So customers think that I know. Suppose you are selling say a t-shirt, then you tell them how to select a t-shirt, meaning uh, what should be the texture, or what kind of yarn that has gone in to manufacture it, etc., etc. So customers become knowledgeable. In the process, they think that this company is good. They're telling us how to prepare and what to look for, because we all think that we don't know much about the quality of the canvas that has gone into. So you try to educate them. In the process, you gain the loyalty of the customers. Quality content is win-win because customers become knowledgeable and you also get their trust and eventually their loyalty. Now, online presence is already highly talked about, meaning you are present everywhere, conspicuously present in Facebook, in YouTube, and whatnot, wherever, in Google search, in particularly in search engine. You do search engine optimization, and whenever somebody is searching for a product, your product comes first. That becomes a some kind of automatic advertisement, because whenever we see that appearing at the top, we normally click there, and by the day it is actually increasing in focus of marketing. To create a long-term positive presence for a business or product in search engine optimization and on web in general. So you can take help of so many things. Web design means optimizing, then blogging, search engine optimization, pay-per-click marketing, that is Google AdWords, reputation management, meaning nowadays even for election there is this guy Kishore who is helping many political parties to get votes. So similarly, you can make effort to increase the value perception on your brand or product through reputation management, and there are professionals who can do that. So people will have a premium impression about your product. Directory listing, social media, link sharing, etc., etc. Social media marketing has gained traction, and it's kind of increasing by the day. So you can use, most importantly, you have to collect data, and then there is no hard and fast, or there is no sacrosanct rule that this will work, this will not work. You have to gather data and then understand what is actually retaining customers, number one, or converting visitors into customers. It's called what is that word? Prospect. What actually converts a prospect into a customer, and what helps in existing customers to become a repeat customer. Number one. Number two, what makes them become an evangelist of your product, meaning they talk about it to other people, and eventually other people also come to buy your product. So you have to continuously analyze the data and then get insight as to what is working and what is not working, whether this reputation management is actually successful in managing the reputation, or what, etc. Okay, how can you get connected? So it's a continuous process, and you have to really innovate as to what is working with people. Write some, most importantly, wherever you get a chance, you try to write some positive comments. Suppose there is say LinkedIn, somebody made a comment and you are giving a reply. So people actually notices, like this guy Mahindra. If you follow him or follow the news, you will find that Mahindra always makes a wonderful comment about something that is happening good. So anything happening good, suppose somebody score a century, or somebody writes a wonderful blog and then brings some social value, or maybe some kind of sympathy, empathy, or any example that is there, Mahindra will be the first to comment, and his comments are wonderful. So people notice that very carefully as to what you are writing and how you are commenting, and that creates a brand. Creates a huge brand, fan following, and then eventually people buy. Mahindra actually has been very successful in converting his polite comments, nice comment, and valuable comments into customers. So wherever you do something, reflect on somebody's comment or somebody's post, you should be very careful, and you can actually make yourself conspicuous through your comment, and provided it is positive, favorable, and it catches the fancy of people, meaning it should be touchy, or use emojis or something. Most importantly, you don't show that you are a humbug kind of a guy, you are proud, you are artificial. You must avoid all of that. You are using that once, people will come to know. Without your knowledge, people will just start hating you or avoiding you. Most people are very sober, very nice, and they will not talk about your behavior. They will simply avoid commenting on you or even reading about you. So the objective is damaged. It means you damage the entire thing. Then among social media, now there are a lot of research as to which is working and which is not working. Suppose you send email to customers, say you collect people's email. Now emails are available because people are hacking other people's database and getting email addresses, and they're selling that. But then fact is that not even 1% of the people will open email that says that indicates that it's an advertisement. Now even Google email Gmail is filtering those mails into a separate folder. So usually people will not even open that folder unless they would like to delete them. So obviously email is not a preferred media for or preferred social media network through which one should apply that. Only thing is that it comes almost free. So even if out of 1 million junk mail sent to people's inbox, if one person gets converted into a visitor, it's not converted into customers. It is getting converted only into visitor. Out of visitors, maybe 1% will get converted into customers. So the number will be something, not zero. Whereas if you send message rather than mail, if you send WhatsApp message or any kind of message, SMS or something, that actually converts a great percentage of people into exploring further as to what you mean by those brand or those whatever offerings that you are trying to make. So they will respond to messages, or maybe they will probe deeper inside and then try to understand, and then chances are very high that they will get converted into customers. These are some of the data available. 56% people prefers message rather than call, not even telephone call. There are so many calls you receive day in and day out, and the moment they say that, the moment they indicate that this is an advertisement call, immediately we say that we are busy, please call later, or maybe don't even call, I'm not interested. So those do not work, whereas messages work 56% of the times. 61% are favorable to personal messages from businesses. Like suppose you are interested to buy a air conditioner, and if the air conditioning companies do get to know about your requirement, there are ways and means to know that. Suppose you made some search in Google and then they get this information that so and so is searching for a air conditioner, and then the message comes from a company and they start content marketing. They start telling you, if you are trying to buy an AC, you should be looking for this. So you don't get bored because you already need information, and a company is providing you information. So you become, not only you don't become irritated, but also you become favorably disposed on that company, about that company, because that company is giving you the right information. So that actually helps, and then chances are very high that the customer or the prospect will get back to the company with more inquiries or more queries, and then if the person is satisfied, they will buy. 50% plus are more likely to shop with business. They can message. If they can message with a company, they prefer to buy their product, because they feel that if they have a problem moving forward, they can message this company and do the troubleshooting. 63% reported that their messaging with businesses is increasing. WhatsApp is better. Look at this data. I just mentioned, I said 1%, it is actually 2%. Average email open rate is around 19%. And click-through rate capped at about 2%. About 2%, 19% will open this mail, but 2% will click on the link. And then for messaging, message marketing, open rate is 80% and click-through rate is 30%, much higher. Now, this is all about social media marketing. Now we are going into another topic called engaging with the customers. Just a second, there's somebody knocking at the door. Sorry. We are talking about engaging is very important. Knowing everything well, building a product that customers want and customer love to buy. Call back. Sorry again. Yeah, having wonderful product and giving superior value proposition, etc., etc., will take you somewhere, take you some distance. But then finally, it has to be engagement with the customer. What do you mean by engagement? Engagement is the winning proposition. Without customer engagement, perhaps it's very difficult to sustain, to grow. At some point of time, you will reach to a kind of a saturation, and from there it will go downward. It will never move up. Whereas customer engagement can continuously move you to upper and upper paradigm. Suppose just a second, give me a moment. Sorry again. So social media, right? Whatever that is, how do you engage and what do you mean by engaging with the customer? Most importantly, you sell a product and the customer is somewhat happy, but then that may be the end of the road. He's somewhat happy. Next time he will explore other products as well before buying. So you lose an opportunity. Engaging with the customer means that you try to remain engaged with the customer even after sales. Engaging with the customer means that the customers are continuously communicating with your brand. Customers are continuously communicating with your brand. Just a second, I'm feeling disturbed. I should take the class from office, but then my office network is too bad. It will not even reach you. Sorry about the disturbance today. I'll make sure that this disturbance doesn't happen next class. So you remain connected. Next time you send a mail to this same customer saying that are you happy, or you try to give a loyalty bonus that if you refer somebody, then we are going to give you and them a discount, something like that's what Airbnb uses. Like if you visit Airbnb, they will tell you that if you refer to a customer, if that customer visits us, then we're going to give you 25% discount to you and 25% discount to the person you are referring to. So total 50% discount, but then they make sure that one customer is getting only 25% discount and they're okay with that. They're absolutely okay with that. So too bad. I think you are getting the background noise. So I have to do something about that. Normally it doesn't happen, but today it's happening. So you do something like loyalty program, bonus, referral, and many more. Like say you bring out some kind of a promotional scheme that you give, like say reward points. There are so many reward points, like SBI gives reward, every credit card company gives reward points which they try to make superior compared to the other. So likewise, you have to really be innovative and get connected. Let the customer notice you, understand, meaning just having everything nice is not good enough. You have to really make them aware and then get their trust. It's all artificial, but then you have to adopt some of them so that they are connected. So eventually you don't want to cheat. Eventually you want to make them you want to empower them with information. You want to tell them that your product is actually superior compared to other products. So you're not doing something illegal or something unethical. You're doing something for the benefit of the customers, but in the process you are going to ensure that your company's interests are protected. So how do you engage? There are other methods of creating a niche market and then give those particular features. Suppose you have a market segment where there are, even the segment has diversity. So try to match with sub-segment people, sub-segment population. Know and share your why do you exist, why this product is superior, etc., etc. Make your content easy to discover, frequently give away sample, visible feedback rating. So there is a link about this engagement is very important. Engagement alone can take you a long distance, and absence of that actually can cause a lot of damage to your company. How much of what you have to do, that will pretty much depend on the context and the product and the kind of customer segment. So you have to really be innovative and understand your product is specific, market is specific, context specific engagement process. Now is a new topic, that is market segmentation, targeting and positioning. Segmentation we have been discussing since beginning of the class, and it's very important. I have already defined it. The whole market is a heterogeneous place, like our country is a place of heterogeneous people with heterogeneous liking, disliking. There's no commonalities, but then among them there will be some people who have similar kind of liking, disliking, particularly pains that perhaps your product alleviates. So you would like to identify those people who need your solution. So in the process, if you can identify, you can reach out to them the simplest or the shortest way, and then cut down your cost of reaching out, cost of advertisement, or say social media marketing, cost of marketing in at large. So that is why you try to do a segmentation. Then you try to position the product, like what specific need you may fulfill. Suppose say the same example, say air conditioner. Suppose some people are more interested about saving power, and maybe a segment of the population, sub-segment of the population are more interested about environment. So you focus more on environment. That is how you're positioning your product to those people who are more concerned about environment. Perhaps all the air conditioner releases CFC gases, that is bad for environment, meaning is deplete the ozone layer at the top. So every company is now trying to use a very special kind of refrigerant which releases less, or which is less harmful to the ozone layer. Perhaps every company worth the name are using the same refrigerant, but then some company will say that we are using say some so and so refrigerant, which is a latest refrigerant, and it's going to reduce the emission, and you are causing less harm. Other company may not even mention that we are also using the same thing. They will create a niche for themselves on power consumption. Some will create accelerated cooling mechanism, etc., etc. Perhaps all work the same way. So you have your own story, and you try to customize your story with a particular group of people so that it resonates with their persona. You have to define their persona, what they like, what they don't like, etc. Then you target them with the right story, meaning you target a sub-segment of the population so that they understand that directly this is the product that they are looking for. I'll elaborate that moving forward. So once you can, there are too many slides, there are repeated things about segmentation. That is why I have put a separate text saying that this is repeated. Does not mean that this is outside the syllabus. If you get bored of reading the same thing, you can skip those slides. I think there will be, I'll mention more number of slides, because in my feedback, I find many students said the same thing, that there are repetition of slides and we end up wasting a lot of time on that. So that is why I put that. Now market segment, then target marketing, product or service positioning, and there is a little bit mentioned in moving forward about influencer marketing. That is what you use, say, YouTube influencer marketing. Influencer marketing are those people who have some kind of, say, some sort of passion, using which they use this meaning there's some kind of professional. Say somebody will be about fashion, somebody will be about kitchen appliances, somebody will be about cooking. Now, depending on what product you would like to market, or depending on your product, you find similar kind of a guy. Suppose you want to market air conditioner. So if anybody is trying to do air conditioning, just a second again, sorry. Sorry again. Getting upset. So influencer marketing is marketing through them. Now somebody who is talking about air conditioner or similar kind of products, uh, you just donate air conditioner, so that while shooting his video or her video, he will put that at the background, and repeatedly they will focus their camera on that air conditioner, and eventually they will get to know that, okay, so this guy whom we follow is using so and so air conditioner. So they will, whenever there will be a question of buying air conditioner, they will have a natural inclination to buy the same brand, something like that. That is what is influencer marketing. So segmentation, I'll not elaborate anymore, but then this is something about mission. Mission is the purpose for which you exist. Mission defines your customers, what kind of customers you are serving to. So try to read this, and there may be a slide. I don't know whether I have covered it earlier, or maybe I'll cover it later if time permits. Time is very short. By the way, we'll have the next test maybe on coming Wednesday, perhaps. I'll send a mail before Friday. Within Friday, I'll send a mail if there is a test on Wednesday, coming Wednesday. I would prefer Wednesday because you'll have the whole weekend to prepare, and then we'll have it on Wednesday. I'm yet to book the Moodle guy, so tentatively coming Wednesday. So
Sir,
I'm going to, yes, please.
Sir, Wednesday is holiday. We have
Okay, then Thursday, next
Okay.
working day after this week. I want you to use the weekend, so Thursday maybe. So I'm actually means I don't have option.
Will it be after the class test one?
No, syllabus is up to Friday, coming Friday. This is not a replacement test. We'll have 2 tests at the beginning, 2 tests at the end. So better of the 2 tests, then better of the next 2 tests. We'll have we'll go by, and then finally there will be a mega test for 40 marks later. So
excuse me, sir.
So
yes, go ahead.
Sir, it's a humble request that if you can keep the class test on coming Friday. Actually, we have the spring break ending on 3rd, so many of us are returning. If it's possible to keep it on 5th, so that will be great.
You are returning where?
So by 4th, so it may
Returning
not
to
be.
campus? Returning to
No,
campus?
sir, returning back to home. Like I'm going somewhere, so means I can still accommodate, but if it's possible to keep it on 5th, then it will
See,
be very convenient.
see, for one individual, it will be very difficult because there will be another person saying that I have another test on Friday, so please keep it on something. It's very difficult. Earlier also we faced this problem, so you should not miss any test, and we'll take either this or that, so there should be no problem. Yeah, go ahead.
So many students will have the same issue, like on 4th. I think it would be a common demand to keep it on 5th.
Let me see. Let me
and
see. If
also,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
if
send me a mail. So I'll count the number of mails, and then with the roll number, I'll count the mail if I see that substantial number of students are preferring on 4th, and if there are problems on 5th also, so let me know that. Let me know that in advance so that I don't fix up a date with the Moodle guys and then that will be a problem. Okay, so let us not waste any more time. Just send the mail.
Sir, just last thing, sir.
Yes.
Sir, so the syllabus of class test 1 is not included in this test. It is after the class test 1.
No. All from day 1 till this.
Okay.
From day 1 till coming Friday. Nothing much was covered before previous class test. In fact, I was feeling difficult to set up questions. Means as a whole, final test will have whatever. I'll send a mail with the syllabus and all that. Okay, so mission actually contains information on the customers the company serves, the product, the service it provides, and the unique value proposition differentiating it from the competitors. Mission and market are thus inextricably associated. Marketing management therefore begins as the idea of the startup germinates, means the moment the idea comes, immediately marketing starts. Okay, again something more about segmentation I'll bypass. We define a clear persona of our customer, the text in the blue, and delineating their unique characteristic like taste, choices, behavior, aspiration, and pain. That actually those people who have this unique features, they constitute the segment. They may be distributed across geography, meaning maybe across the country or maybe across the world. Suppose you are catering to some global, some other countries. So in that case, your segment will be people across the world who have the similar kind of pain, like say COVID vaccine. So let us not go to that far. That will come later, like say Capillary of Anish Reddy. They cater to many global companies. So obviously for them, they will try to understand companies across the world who will require their solution, something like that. But for a startup who are just starting, it is perhaps the country itself should be good enough. So you identify people in the country who have unique need, they have unique pain to alleviate, etc. They constitute the segment. This I have defined too many times. So you define that persona and then you try to match that persona with your product. That is the objective of segmentation. First of all, define the persona. Second, you define your product and then build the product. Third, you understand through which channel you can reach out to those people. Fourth, you know how to satisfy them, how to engage with them, where to engage with them, and how to deliver, what kind of payment method they will prefer, what kind of promotion they will prefer, etc., etc. So you define everything while doing market segmentation. I'll not repeat, this is the same thing told differently, but if you have time, do read them. Now I'm giving an example, the same example I gave while talking about market research. This is a 10 karat gold jewelry. We know that Indians love jewelry, and in the majority of the Indians cannot afford because majority people live in below poverty line. Middle class is the most conspicuous consumer class. Perhaps they should be your customer, not the upper class, not even the upper middle class. Perhaps lower middle class should be your target if you are thinking of 10 karat gold jewelry, which is not a premium product, unless there is a huge amount of design going into that like say something like iPad or something where design is the value proposition. So when you are thinking of that, you would like to identify people who will be more interested about 10 karat gold jewelry. Not only people, but families with the right kind of people, etc., etc. So finally, you want to reach out to only those people. So you want to reduce the segment, the audience size. So first thing is you define the market segment so that you know that, okay, this is the people who are interested, and then you try to devise ways and means to reach out to them. Now, if you know that there are this many the total population is this, and then out of them, these are the like this village. Suppose you are targeting a village, and you know that there are something like, let me move to the next one. I need to change the data. I have changed the data moving forward, so don't worry about that. Now about this, you have two options when you think of market potential. Number one, number two, reaching out to the people to understand whether they will really buy or they will not buy. That is the first thing. You want to know that okay, there are say 50 families in a village. You want to know that 50 families are there who can afford and who are likely customers. But then likely customers are direct customers. There are means they are way different. Out of 50 families who can afford your jewelry and they are the right people, out of them, what percentage of people are going to buy? So you want to reach out to them. You want to talk to them, talk to some of them, and get an idea. That is, you try to reach out to everybody. Maybe there are 1,000 families, meet them, talk to them, and then finally you get the idea about who are going to be your customer. Whose mic is on? I don't know. They're creating noise. Today class is full of disturbance. So obviously the first choice is out of question. You cannot reach out to 1,000 families and then end up spending maybe 10 lakh rupees doing this search. Second option is to identify, meaning do a market segmentation, maybe using secondary data and then identify, etc., etc. That will be easier. Your sample size will be less. It will be something like this. There are so many, say 500 families. Out of them, 120 families are lower middle class, middle class, and upper middle class. So you can perhaps target the 8% of the families who are middle class. Perhaps you're directly your customer or something. So higher income, middle income, or maybe, and you can reduce those male only families, lower income families, male and widow, etc. Whatever that is, finally you are with a very small list of people who are your direct customers. So that is how segmentation is going to help. Now you can reach out easily, you can understand them better, etc., etc. So read this slide. This also is the same thing like the previous slide. So it's a repetition. It is not exact repetition. It's not ditto, but then the philosophy is almost the same. You avoid wasting time reaching out to many people, number one. Number two, now you can define your customer's pain better and you can design the product better, etc. Now, product market segmentation is product specific. Like for 10 karat jewelry, you have in a village, you have something like say 120 families who are your direct customer, meaning they are likely to buy. But now in the same village, suppose you want to sell low-cost detergent. Suppose you want to sell low-cost detergent. Then it becomes very different, meaning those people who will be able to afford or who are your potential customer for 10 karat gold jewelry may not be your customer now. Now it is the lower income group who will be more interested. Or say you want to sell designer jewelry, which are highly specific, meaning that you sell only one set of jewelry to one family and then you don't sell the same design to another. So it is person specific or something maybe. Now that is going to cost you a fortune. So obviously your segment becomes very different. So depending on product, your market segment of the market will be very different. I have explained this 10 times at least. So read them. If I missed anything, you can read them. Now, before you think of segmentation, one way of doing segmentation is understand the pain and then gather data and then just go ahead and do segmentation. But then it's not so easy to do. Suppose you know that it is a low income family and male on women family, not male only family, etc., etc. Even then identifying will be very difficult. You need data, you need to sift through or you need to analyze the data. To put that, you need various kinds of data. Okay. Now, what data you need to segment? you need data that can be classified into geographic data, meaning say region wise. Suppose you are selling say emotional novels. Perhaps Bengal is the place where you should sell, you should try. Suppose you are selling religious books. Perhaps Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and other southern states are perhaps is a better place, meaning with minimal effort will yield maximum outcome, something like that. So I'm not saying that these people way different, but then data suggests. IBM did this research for I think for Flipkart at the beginning when they were selling only books. They found that different kinds of books are being sold in different regions. So there is a pattern. So if you know that a particular product sells in a particular geography, so now you need data about geographies. How many people in Bengal purchase books? Something like that. So there is geographic data that will help you to do market segmentation. There are demographic data like say education or say age demographics, suppose male female distribution. These are all demographic data. So if you are targeting a very specific kind of population, then you need demographic data. So you can segment market based on demographic data. Behavioral, like readiness to buy new product. Some people are not ready to buy new product, whatever maybe, whatever goodness, badness or whatever is there, they will say that unless the product has been accepted by many people, I'm not going to buy. Means they feel that way. Then there are psychographic, like lifestyle, like some people are vegetarian, some are say halal, or some people are say they will eat only non-veg. There are many people I know, they eat only non-veg. They just hate vegetarian food. So likewise, some people are environment concerns, or whatever they eat, whatever they do, they will always look at the implication on the environment about their consumption. Like some people are not vegetarian, but they eat only vegetarian because they are environmentally conscious that non-veg actually is associated with more carbon dioxide emission, etc., etc. So likewise, based on geographic data, demographic data, behavioral data, psychographic data, you can segment the market. So that is what, this is very important. This slide is very important. You may get a question. Now I sent you a brief write-up on TAM, SAM and SOM. Actually, I had some kind of a rough sketch done. That is why I sent you that rather than sending the whole about the whole lectures today. So TAM, SAM, SOM I have already sent, and you should read from there. TAM is the entire market in a country or maybe in the world, depending on what is the market segment. If it is a global segment, then the world market is the market. So total demand of the product in the entire country, meaning the market, that is TAM. Now SAM is demand of the product among the segment that is within your geographical range. Suppose you are selling air conditioner, you are a new company and you are using say new technology, something like say thermoelectric cooling that is used, that is called Peltier module. You are using Peltier module for cooling the interior of a house. So using thermoelectric cooling, you have come up with an air conditioner. Now you may not reach out to every state in the first year, even though you need data about the entire country, because whenever you are giving a presentation before somebody, if you don't give the data about the country, that somebody will not have an impression about the entire market size. So you need to convey to them that look, in the entire country, total sales of air conditioner or total market size of air conditioner is 10,000 crore rupees or 10,000 pieces or something. Now, I'm not going to target the entire country, obviously. I'm going to target maybe the eastern part of the country, maybe Bengal, Bihar, Odisha, and then Assam and Tripura, Mizoram, etc. Or say even lesser. Now, the entire market of this region will be the SAM, or maybe the low cost portion of that may be your market. So you define where you stand and then what is the total market size of this region, maybe geographically, maybe price wise or something. That is your SAM. But even in this region, in the first year, obviously, you may not be able to reach out to all the states of this region. Maybe you start from Kolkata. So Kolkata and adjoining region is your immediate target. That means that is your SOM, serviceable obtainable market, that you are going to capture maybe in the next year or next 2 years. Maybe next year you are going to capture 10% of this market, 2 years you are going to capture maybe 50%, and then moving forward, third year, fourth year, perhaps you are going to open your wings and then move away from your SOM, and you will capture some of the SAM, serviceable available market. So that is why this data is very important. Whenever you are giving a presentation before investors or anywhere, you must have a clear grip on this data, 3 data, TAM, SAM and SOM. Make fair assessment of the market size to be targeted, making meaningful sales projection based on those. Otherwise, people will think that this projection doesn't have any basis and we are not trusting your projection, so stop here. They will not allow you to move forward unless you talk about TAM, SAM, SOM. You know, your investors also know that your projection will go haywire, bound to, but still they want to see that you have done everything systematically, everything following some kind of a benchmark. So if you do TAM, SAM, SOM, even the data on TAM, SAM, SOM may not be absolutely accurate, but still they will feel that you know what is TAM, SAM, SOM and you know what the market size is. So that is why even valuation of startup will be based on TAM, SAM, SOM. We'll discuss that later. And investors' returns are also estimated based on that. Now suppose this 10 karat gold jewelry, if you want to identify the SOM, that is your projected sales for the next year, then you have to start from the country market, that is TAM, that may be 1 lakh crore of all the jewelry, but low cost jewelry in the parts that you want to that is relevant for you, maybe 1000 crore. Now you are targeting only a village which may be 100 crore and you are perhaps targeting 1% or 10% of that, that will be 10 crore. So that is how you gradually come down to projected sales. Now your projected sales is 10 crore. So based on that, you prepare your profit loss account, etc., cash flow, etc. That is about segmentation. Positioning, as I have already explained, please read them. How do you position your product? Now in the segment, there will be some who are interested about the contemporary design, there will be some who are interested in classical design. So you come up with 2 variety, one for classical people and for contemporary people. You position your product based on that. I gave an example of the air conditioner. Some people are interested in environment protection, some people are interested in saving the power consumption, some are interested in how fast it is getting cooled or emission or something. So depending on that, you position your product. When positioning your product, you should look at these 3 circles. It's very important. You know, in the marketplace, there are always competition. Now, your competitors are strong in a particular place. Suppose there is one competitor in air conditioning where power consumption is low and you don't really match them. So don't try to position your product on power consumption, then it will be a definitive loser. Whereas suppose on say accelerated cooling, you have slight edge over your competitors. So you position that your product based on accelerated cooling or something. So wherever you are strong, you position it there. You position your product on that. Particularly if you are selling thermoelectric cooling, emission is absolutely zero. Emission from the gadget is absolutely zero. Of course, you are going to consume some power. Suppose you are taking power from some renewable energy source like solar power panel or something, you are absolutely green air conditioning system. So you position there and is going to be a winner. Like say for example, Colgate position as protective. Every pest is the same pest, but Colgate says it is protective. Patanjali says it is organic. Sensodyne says it is tooth sensitive, etc., etc. Dabur says it is natural and Ayurvedic. Pepsodent says complete family package, etc., etc. Likewise, every product tries to position them itself through a story, and that resonates with some part of the segment of the population, so eventually they buy. Okay, this is about the 10 karat gold jewelry I have already explained. So through positioning, actually you try to engage with the customer because they want something in a product and you have that in the product. So you tell the story, they feel, yes, this is the product we are looking for. So it is through this, not only you are connecting, but you are engaging with them. Even after sales, you remain engaged so that they spread the word of mouth to others, and then they feel, you know, this is a wonderful product and we should buy. So customer acquisition becomes very easy. I was talking about engagement. The data suggests, I have not presented the data. The data suggests that 2/3 of the profit comes from engaging customer engagement, meaning that you acquire only 1/3 of the customers. You acquire only 1/3 of the customer through customer acquisition process like advertisement, social media network, like content marketing, etc., through whatever means that you do. You acquire 1/3 of the customers, but you make sales to the rest 2/3 of the customers through engagement. You engage with your existing customers, they become repeat customers. Not only that, they spread the word of mouth and they bring new customers to you. So you don't have to spend a single paisa to acquire new customers. So that is why customer engagement is so very important. So I'm going to put at least one question for this. So now the topic is target marketing. We'll move fast. I don't want to repeat this anymore. So wherever I close, I'll put a full stop there. Target marketing. While selling 10 karat gold jewelry, you realize that the choices of young girls are different than matured women. So you try to target a specific customer with a specific focus. Now you have to have product that suits the moods of moods and aspiration of a specific group of customer within the segment. That will help you to attract all subgroups separately, and it will attract their fascination towards your product. So everybody will talk about your brand, but they buy different products, meaning some will buy a classical kind of product, some will buy a contemporary product, but whenever they discuss with another guy, they will be talking about your brand. So your brand comes in the focus. So target marketing, first of all, you segment the market. Second, you analyze the unique needs of sub-segment, meaning a niche marketing. Analyze competition landscape, meaning what other people are doing, where you can have a differentiation. And then you accentuate that, identify that differentiator, and then promote that. That is how you're going to target marketing. Target a niche within the market. Understand this is repetition again. I have the habit of doing that. Marketing mix. Marketing mix has 4 P's. One is product, what you sell. That is what customer gets. That alleviates customer pain. Price. Price actually gives pain to your customer. So how can you reduce that pain by optimizing the price? You make some profit. At the same time, you pass on some of the benefits to the customer, or you cut costs so that you can offer at a lower price. Place, where they buy, and ultimately where are they located, so that you can cater to them, you can come up with promotion, etc. So finally, promotion like how you create loyal customer, how you make them repeat customer, meaning somebody is buying something, you put some credit point or say some reward points. So suppose I buy a refrigerator, a air conditioner. So you give me 1000 points and you tell me that, sir, you can use this while buying a refrigerator or something that or color TV or something for 1000 rupees. So I will remain loyal to you. I'll come back to your shop whenever I have to buy a color TV. That 1000 rupees you are always going to load on the TV, but then I will have a feeling that I have got 1000 rupees discount. You can very well give the discount as well to remain honest and ethical. So what you do is you cut down your profit because you are getting a repeat customer. So your customer acquisition cost is less. So you pass on that. That is what is promotion. Okay. So there are some slides on marketing mix. Now, marketing mix is important, but then it's not difficult to understand. I have already talked about this. So read this. There's no problem on that. I have discussed most of the things. Growth hacker. This is very important. See, whenever some startup starts a new business, they're suppose it's an e-commerce company, particularly when it is network based company, meaning that they need many people to get connected on one side and many vendors to get connected on the other side, so that there is always interaction, higher interaction, then increasing number of footfalls. Now you can come up with a story, but then there are professionals who will come up with new stories every now and then they will make sure that there are so much of footfall that within no time you have 1 million footfall and maybe more than 1 million registered users. So these people are called growth hackers. They have the capability to come up with stories, come up with the way search engines are optimized, etc., etc. So eventually they will help you to get huge number of registration. You may not be able to sell, but you get connected. That is what is growth hackers. Sometimes you will be able to sell. So remain concerned about too many footfalls. You may it may go haywire if you are not able to satisfy them. If they kind of become demoralized after coming to your site, like Warby Parker, many people registered and then they could not supply. It should not happen. Of course, Warby Parker was a wonderful company. They did that. So what growth hackers do, they use social media. They prepare some viral content, like say something disputable, say something that people will talk about, maybe positive, but then some social something that shows empathy, or that explain that connect emotionally with the customer. Some viral contents. Content marketing, influencers, etc., etc. The story should be good. The shooting should be good. Like what this guy did, I forgot the name. The name is there. So growth hacking, it may be A/B testing. You must have a minimum viable product to do that. Sometimes growth hackers are very efficient, and then if you cannot satisfy the increasing number of customers, there will be fall from the precipice, meaning that you have 1 million users and then they are all demoralized. Next day it is 500,000. Next day it is 1 lakh, and next day almost nobody. So you should be very careful. You must understand them. You must satisfy them. How fast to grow, that will depend on that is a dynamic thing. You must understand. Like Anish Reddy, they started growing. They diversified into 10 countries. When they realized that we are just diversifying into countries, we are not making money. Our cash flow is less and our cost is going through the roof. So this is not tenable. So immediately they put a full stop, and then they started analyzing and then refining the model, and eventually they became profitable. So that is very important. Viral low. Be knowledgeable about this. You must come up with a content that people like, and then the people start sharing. At some nook and corner, your product will be displayed, and then many people will come to know. That is how a growth hacker works, and that is how what is viral low. But then you should be conscious about vanity metrics. Vanity metrics are those data that doesn't translate into sales. Suppose somebody says that, I have 1 million registered users, but the question is, so what if 1% of them are not getting converted into customers? So if anything that is direct customer, suppose somebody says that, I have 50% repeat customer, that is not a vanity metrics. That is real metrics, because 50% of the customers are coming back. That is wonderful. So one should be very careful about vanity metrics. Like if somebody says that I have 500 tech guys, if 500 tech guys are
Sir, you are muted.
time, so somebody is giving me indication that I should close. See, there are only two slides, so I'll just finish. Influencer marketing, there is, see, these small children are multi-millionaire. This 7-year-old boy is 22, has build a $22 million.
So someone is muting you.
I'm exceeding the time. Fine. I don't, I'm not offended about that. And there are different kinds of people, in this world. So every now and then you read newspaper headlines about people doing something that you feel so pathetic about. So people are there, different kind. We should not feel bad about that. So hype before launch. Sometimes there are so much of hype before launch. Like say when Apple will come up with a new product, new iPad, they say that this product is going to be costing $3,000. Then most of the people think that, oh my God, I won't be able to buy. $3,000. What is there? Apple will some leak. Actually, it is not leaked video, but it is advertently leaked video. There will be a lot of features, and they will say that for these features there are so much cost, but when it will come in the market, you will find that it is only $1,000. That too, there are so much of discount for exchange, for this, for that. So that hype actually creates demand. People think that I'll sell my one kidney and buy this because this is something extraordinary. And then this is the market sales funnel and marketing funnel. We already discussed about this. Reference and thank you. And I'm sorry to that guy who is repeatedly putting me, what is that? Muting me. I'm sorry, because I'm